And the New South Wales government is in crisis today. The Deputy Premier has announced that his party will no longer support the Liberals within their coalition. Have a look at what he said a short time ago.
We are also in agreement from the party room that we will be abstaining from supporting any government legislation or bills, but we reserve our right to vote on and support or not support bills that are relevant to regional and rural New South Wales, and will do so until such time that our position and our amendments are considered and the issue around the SEP is actually afforded in a way that we are comfortable with.
Now, the interesting thing here, he clarified that the National Party will no longer support the government bills, attend joint party room meetings and attend parliamentary leadership meetings. And this all comes after increasing tension around the proposed planning regulations that would give farmers responsibility for managing koalas on their property and would see more trees classified as koala habitat. The Nationals have been liaising with the Liberal colleagues since last year on this legislation, and the Deputy Premier, I just gave him a promotion, will not change unless the state environmental planning policy is recognised. Now, Liberal MP Catherine Cusack has described the coalition's behaviour as bullying, saying that Liberal members are stunned and bewildered. On Wednesday night, Cusack sent text messages to two upper house National members, and in a series of texts, Cusack accused them of being backstabbers, wishing to destroy koalas, and stated they would have short careers. She finished by saying the show will go on and be better without you. Robbo, what do you make of all this? Interesting to note, the coalition isn't resigning from government. They'll all still have their ministries. They'll all still have their cars. Is this nothing but a publicity stunt?
Well, it is a publicity stunt, I think, Rob. But the big reason is that for a long time, both in state level and definitely at federal level, the Nationals have really lost their way. They've been quite a joke. They've been accused of just being in it for themselves, that they haven't been governing. They certainly haven't been listening to rural and regional Australia. I think what we're seeing here is kind of that flexing of the muscle going, no, we are bloody here and we've got to get our base back. So publicity, absolutely, for sure, because they're trying to say to their constituents that we are here and we are ready to govern after so many years. I remember like Barnaby Joyce and all of those issues and more interested in themselves. This is a big flex of the muscle. It'll be interesting to see how other areas of the National Party, both federally and in other states and territories, follow suit.
Well, that is very interesting. Ben, I got on to our good friend Sam Dastyari, the former federal senator, and these were some things he said to me. He said, this is a marketing exercise. They definitely don't want to lose their portfolios. But from a branding point of view, how do the Nationals make themselves stand out? And this is the big thing here. They've got an issue that, you know, from farmers, it's seen as these inner city Liberals are making these decisions about koalas, not really understanding what goes on the farms. And this is an issue that the coalition feels could hurt them in the polling, but also gives them a place to draw a line in the sand and have a differentiation from the Liberal Party.
Yeah, well, I think it's a clever ploy. They definitely managed to cherry pick a really good issue that they could grandstand. I mean, I was expecting at the end of that little clip for them to have people in the background with T-shirts saying, "Think of the koalas." Like, it was just such an emotional topic that, you know, tears on the heartstrings. And what does Robbo call it? The bleeding hearts of the country. You know, make sure you talk about the koalas. You know, because that way we can make a lot of noise and get our point across. Because at the end of the day, politicians, they really just want to be heard. They really want the headlines.
Well, that's true, but you've got to say, if you're not supporting the government, you don't have a right to be in government. So this is quite an interesting time, Robbo, where they're actually saying, we want all the perks, but we're taking away the responsibility and will actually allow themselves to vote against the government. So at the moment, they're going to abstain. They won't actually be supporting any government legislation, which makes it harder to get anything through Parliament, of course. But it's a dangerous game they're in.
But it's for their base, though. You mentioned just before, as I did with the inner city Liberals, not listening to them. They've lost their base. They've lost their way. They've been decimated in recent, especially federal, and then also the state elections. They've decimated. You know, the base doesn't believe that the National Party is there to govern for them. this is the way to do it, isn't it? But they've also can't let hold of the power that they've got to give. This is a big risk. This is, it's a huge thing to do, and time will tell if the farmers think, oh, this was a good idea.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo Ben.